Earlier, we heard from His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales about his concern for people around the world persecuted for their faith. I also asked him about his views on the radicalisation of young Muslims in this country.
Well, of course, this is one of the greatest worries, I think, and the extent to which this has happened is the alarming part. I mean, particularly in a country where, like ours, where, the values we hold dear, you would think that people who've come here and born here, go to school here, would imbibe the sort of those values and outlooks. But the frightening part is that people can be so radicalized either through contact with somebody else or through the internet. And the extraordinary amount of crazy stuff which is on that internet. Clearly, some people seem to get particularly affected by it, and then I suppose they get into groups of others who... And I can see, I suppose, to a certain extent, some aspect of this radicalization is a search for adventure and excitement at a particular age. So what I've been trying to do all these years with the Princess Justice and so on is to find alternatives for adolescents and people at a young age, constructive paths for to channel their enthusiasm, their energy, their sense of wanting to take risks and adventure and aggression and all these things. But you have to channel them into constructive paths.
I'm inspired and encouraged by both, preventing and actually finding an avenue to turn young people away who probably have got into this without even realising where they were going.
But I think the most important thing is to remind people of the distortions of great religions and of the original ideas of the founders of these religions. So often you find that their message is so distorted by their putative followers. That's the tragedy. And of course, the traditional Islam does not permit this sort of thing. That's what we have to remember.
Recently, Christian Magazine described you as faith's defender. In fact, you've described yourself as a defender of faith.
No, I didn't describe myself as defender. I said I would rather be seen as defender of faith all those years ago. Because, as I tried to describe, I mind about the inclusion of other people's faiths and their freedom to worship in this country. And it's always seemed to me that while at the same time being defender of the faith, you can also be protector of faiths. It was very interesting that 20 years or more after I mentioned this, which has been frequently misinterpreted, the Queen in her Jubilee address to the faith leaders, she said that as far as the role of the Church of England is concerned, it is not to defend Anglicanism to the exclusion of other religions. Instead, the Church has a duty to protect the free practice of all faiths in this country. I think in that sense, she was confirming what I was really trying to say, perhaps not very well, all those years ago. And so I think you have to see it as both. You have to come from your own Christian standpoint. In the case, I have a defender of the faith and ensuring that other people's faiths can also be practiced.
How does your own faith, which I know is very strong, how does your own faith motivate your passion to build bridges between all these various faiths?
Well, it does. It informs the way I look at it. And of course, I find it fascinating finding out more about each person's different faith. It is riveting. The more you read, the more you discover about other people's faiths, the more you begin to understand how interpretations can differ. And as I say, the distortions are the things that very often lead to misunderstanding and misinterpretation. So what I want to do is try in my small way to heal those divisions.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me this morning. Thank you. that's it for today. Next week, Valentine's weekend, the lovely Josie Darby will be in Bethnal Green to see if love is in the air. But our final song for today is from Sutton Coldfield.